welcome back for another video, everybody. This is Suzanne A. Wells, and we have an eBay all-star with us today, George Kelly, who posts on the Money Making Mondays in my Facebook group. And when he posts, it's like $400 items. It's amazing. So how you doing, George?
I'm doing great, Suzanne. Thanks for having me on.
Great. Well, thanks for agreeing to be on and share all of your trade secrets. Or not.
I don't mind sharing.
So let's start off with a little bit about you. Where do you live?
I'm in Chicago, and
okay.
So it's a good place for finding things to sell. So it's a lot of inventory.
Great. And your eBay store name is?
It's Fast Start. One word, Fast Start.
Fast Start. So there'll be a link below the video if you guys want to go check out his store and just see what he has. And George's business model is more of quality over quantity, which we're going to talk about the kinds of things he sells and that, you know, his numbers. But he gets it done with not a whole lot of items, which that's good to know. You don't have to have thousands of items to make this work.
No, I seldom have more than 50 items on at one time.
That's amazing. So how long have you been selling?
For 20 years. I started in 1998.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for quite a while.
And what inspired you to get started on eBay?
I'm just looking for a way to make extra money. I used to sell, which I still do. I sell at the flea market, and that was my way of selling back then. Then I found eBay, and that was like a gold mine. Especially in the early days, it was unbelievable. Things would sell.
Yeah.
Unbelievable money.
Those days are gone.
Yeah, right, exactly. But it's a lot easier now. Back in those days, we didn't have PayPal, and we didn't have, you know, we'd have to wait and get a check in the mail and wait and cash the check and all that. And print, you know, I'd have to type out the shipping labels. So it's so much easier now at this. It's just very easy for me.
I remember handwriting shipping labels.
Right.
Just writing it on the package before they had all that.
I did. I used to.
Yep. Now, I didn't ask you, what is your professional background?
Well, I used to work for the Chicago public school system. I was an operating engineer. You know, we took care of the maintenance of the buildings. And I retired from them. And now I'm doing this. And I pretty much do it part-time. I'm just trying to make money. One of the reasons I'm doing it is to pay for my health insurance. My health insurance is over $2,000 a month. And you know, it's pretty costly.
Yeah, that is. I had a feeling you had an engineering background. I just, based on the things that you sell and how you do your business, it just that.
Well, I just learn what people want to buy, and I look for things that I know people want to buy, and I research, and I keep up on the trends. I subscribe to a couple antique magazines, and I read they come weekly, so I read every week about things that are popular and things that are selling, and I follow auctions. I follow a lot of other eBay sellers that I know a lot of eBay sellers that are my competition around here. I follow them. See what they buy, see what they sell, see what's selling, and then I look for the same things. So
what are the newsletters that you subscribe to?
One's called Antique Weekly. It's a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of the other one.
Because there's Collectors Weekly.
Yeah, the Collectors ones.
Covell's Guides has some stuff you can read weekly. There's a lot of stuff out there if people want to learn. It's just.
It really is. And I learned from your group. I'm always learning new things there. I'm in a lot of other Facebook groups that I learn things, and you know, every week I learn something new to look for, and all that goes in the back of my head. And when I'm there, I see it. And my main source of finding things is garage sales. I mean, 95% of my things come from garage sales. And in Chicago, there's hundreds of garage sales every weekend, so. I go, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If I'm not at the flea market Sunday, I go occasionally to the flea market. I've really cut back on the flea market. I used to buy things for there, but now I want to focus on eBay more. And I use the flea market to get rid of junk that doesn't sell, that I can't sell on eBay, that I've had on eBay, no one bid on it, no one looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I take it out there, and I usually make about $500 every week. I go out there at the flea market, just, you know, I have a dollar table, and half of it's $1, and I just get rid of it. You know? And whatever I don't get rid of goes to the Salvation Armies.
Okay. Now you said eBay is not your only income. You're getting a pension from the school system?
Right. I get a pension, right.
And how long have you been retired?
I've been retired 14 years.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, it's just, you know, it's now I really need the extra money from eBay to live, you know, to do the things we want to do and just not have to worry about money all the time.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. So do you always do auctions on your items?
No, I mix it up. I do a little of each. What I do, my basic strategy is I research things like mine that's sold. And if the other people that sold things are doing an auction, then I'll do an auction. But if they do mostly buy it now, then I'll do buy it now. Because you know, a lot of things on auction, you know, I don't know what it's going to go for, and it's just that's why I've done so well on a lot of things. The auction goes crazy. But the buy it now, if I like I bought the other day, I sold an iPod, and I looked up the other people's auctions, and they were selling buy it now, and I put it buy it now, and it thing sold within 2 days. So.
Well, you sell a lot of unusual items, so it's not like you're just doing clothes over and over. You do a lot of really different things.
Right, it's really varied, and I just learned over the years what sells and what doesn't sell. And I use my phone to look up things that I use it constantly. I probably go to 30, 40, 50 garage sales a day, and I use it all day long. I have to keep it on the charger in the car because the battery dies because I use it so much. But
yeah, that's a great tool. Back in the day, we didn't have that either.
No. But I make a lot of mistakes. I buy stuff I shouldn't buy, but I take chances on a lot of things. And I have hunches that I have a hunch that things look good. So, and I buy them. And a lot of times they turn out good. A lot of times they don't. But I don't pay a lot of money for most of my things. That's the key. Although I'll pay for I'll pay money for
something for.
I'll pay money for things that I know are good, and I don't mind paying. So.
And it usually works out for you. So you said you mostly do garage sales, not so much thrift stores, garage sales, and then you get rid of your overstock or your. How long do you wait to take something to the flea market? Like if you're like, okay, this isn't going to sell, got to get rid of it. How long do you wait?
Maybe at the most 2 months. Usually I'll put it on at auction if nobody buys it within 7 days. Then I put it on buy it now for maybe a month, and then it goes into the flea market box. And I want to move the stuff. I don't want to sit there and wait all months and months and pay the fees.
Right.
$20 item, you know what I mean? It's not worth it to me.
And then the clutter just piling up is just, a lot of people don't like that.
You wouldn't believe the clutter I have. It's just, my basement's filled, my garage is filled with stuff. I mean, I have enough stock right now. I could probably go 2 years without buying anything else. But I can't help myself. You know, I'm just addicted to garage sales. I'm addicted to buying. I'm looking, and now I'm looking for those big hits now. I'm not so much looking for that $20 item. I'm looking for $100 or more items.
You sold that humidor for $400. I remember that one.
Right.
Is that you?
Yeah, I paid $5 for that at a garage sale. And I do that pretty often. It's just amazing. I sold that little painting. I don't know if you saw that painting I sold the other day. I bought it 2 weeks ago for $5, and it sold for $735.
No, I didn't see that one yet.
I put it in the fabulous finds. Is that what you call it?
The super size, the over $100.
Right.
Okay. Now I haven't even looked through that yet this month, but
I didn't know who that was, and I didn't know it was just at a grass, and I just thought it was a nice little painting, and it turned out to be a listed artist, and I put it on auction, and people were fighting over it. So
that's fantastic. I mean, you have a magic touch, really. So I asked you what your average cost per item is, and you just, there isn't one. It's just depends on what you can sell it for.
yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
I mean, some things go crazy. Like I say, other things I overpaid for, and I can't get a bid, and I have to dump them. So it kind of averages out.
Right. Right. Now you said right now you had 51 items listed, that you don't normally have more than 50 items listed.
Right. Uh-huh.
And your dollar amount of listed items was like 2,500.
Right. I think my, I don't remember. I have printed it out here somewhere.
That's okay. Just was trying to show that it still works. You don't have to have thousands of items listed if you're just consistent and you are going for the higher price point items anyway. So,
well, I'm listing stuff that people are going to buy, not things that I think they're going to buy, that, you know, I think that are cool, or I think they're, you know, they look neat. I want things that people are buying. And I know from a fact that from past experience that they're going to sell, most likely at the right price, or if I wait a little longer for certain things that they're going to sell. So that's what I'm looking for. If I something it's not selling, then it's gone. It's, you know, get it out of my life.
So, I asked you if you had like a profit goal, and you said you normally make around 2,000 a month profit after everything.
After everything. That's about right.
And that's been pretty consistent over the years for you?
It has. Uh-huh. I do it pretty much part-time. I don't spend a lot of time listing. But, you know, I try to average gross sales about 4,000 a month, which pays for my, like I said, my insurance, and it, you know, gives us some extra spending money to do the things we want to do.
Have you been seeing that number consistently for several years? That
I have. I have. I've been doing better because, like I say, I've been finding better stuff and putting better stuff on there. And it's a lot easier, really, not to be doing so much.
So do you think it's this whole downsizing trend, and you know, like the baby boomers are moving out of their houses, and do you think that's why it's kind of changed and you're seeing better stuff?
That, and I think I just know what I'm doing more. Because I know what I'm looking at, and I walk in and I you know, and I'm not afraid to spend money. I usually spend $200 to $300 a day when I'm out garage selling. So
really, okay. You can't be afraid to spend money. That's part of it.
You know, I don't mind spending $100 on something if I could double my money. You know, I mean, and I usually go out with a lot of money in my pocket, so I'm ready for anything. So.
Do you, is this like just you doing this, or do you have a spouse helping you?
Well, my wife goes with me. She's not really into it, but she goes along, and, you know, she helps me look. You know, I tell her what to look for. We're always looking for certain things, and she finds things. It's nice having an extra hand too to hold stuff and, you know, to grab stuff. I tell her, pick it up, whatever it is, pick it up before someone else does. Just pick it up and say, how about this? And I go, yes, yeah, or no, that's not.
Does she get her feelings hurt when you have to tell her no a whole bunch of times in a row?
No, she doesn't. No.
Okay, good. I found out when people go with me and they're trying to help me, and
right.
I'm like, no, and then they get frustrated.
No, put it back.
Yeah. Good. So what kind of things do you look for? You say you look for the unusual, and you've learned more. What kind of things are you looking for?
Well, the big thing I look for is jewelry. I look for gold. I find gold every weekend. People have it for $1, $2. I bought a 14 karat gold necklace 2 weeks ago for $2, and I take it over to the coin store by me, and I got $495 for the thing. So, I mean, I like that, you know. And that's cash, bingo, bango. It's over with. So
you go to the We Buy Gold places for your gold?
No,
right?
I don't go to We Buy Gold. I go to an established coin store.
Okay.
Been in business for 40 years. Those other places, you know, I wouldn't trust them at all. So, and I've gotten to know these people at the store, and I think they're very fair. And I weigh the gold, so I know that they're giving me a fair price. And but I find gold every weekend. I find other jewelry, I like silver jewelry. I sell a little bit on eBay, but I've been kind of stockpiling it. One of these days, when I get rid of some of this bigger stuff, then I can start dealing more and more in jewelry. But
do you think the people selling it, like at the garage sales, they just don't know what they have, or they don't care?
They don't know what they have.
Okay.
And I've gotten to the point I could tell the difference in gold between real gold and gold plated. You know, I could tell by just looking at it that it's real gold. You know, I've gotten to that point, so that's really helpful. So
you look for the 14 karat or whatever the weight of it is on the piece somewhere?
Right, I could see it. That's another benefit. I could see the mark. My eyes up close, I could see it. A lot of people can't read it. It's something, I don't know. Some people have told me they have gold, but they still want $1 for it, $2. That's
crazy.
I look for, and I ask for watches. I like buying watches. I ask people at the garage sale, they got this, you got that, you got jewelry. I've had people bring jewelry out of the house. They bring watches out of the house. And I ask for furniture. Do you have any furniture? And they bring me in the house. Come out in the house, come in the basement, you know, and then I look around and see what else is in there. And I also make up cards. I have business cards that have a whole list of what I buy on there. There's like 25 things and I make them on my computer. And if the right people, I don't give them to everybody, but if there's some old person there and they got a lot of junk, I say, well, here's my card, you know. And I've had many, many people call me back, or other people say, oh, you buy cameras? Oh, I have some cameras in the house. And they go in the house and bring them out for me. So I have cameras, I have cigarette lighters I like, knives, lamps, whatever. You know, I have a whole list of things just to jog people's memories, because a lot of times they're having a sale. I never thought somebody want old military collectibles, so then they go in the house and they bring them out for me. So.
Well, that's really interesting. That's a great idea.
I get calls all during the winter. I get calls from people. Oh, you gave me your card at the garage sale, and then they have me over to their house. It happens all the time.
Yeah, so if they've got a buyer and you're willing to look at anything, and again, they don't know what they have.
People seem to like me for some reason. You know.
You look trustworthy to me.
You wouldn't believe how many times people come out in the house, come in the basement, come in my bedroom and look through the drawers, and you know, it's like, okay, let's go.
But they know you're going to resell it.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, they got my card. You know, they got my number on there, and I had an ad in the Free Shopper for like 15 years. You know, I buy furniture, I buy old toys, I buy whatever, anything old. And I just recently canceled it because it hasn't been pulling as well as it used to. But I used to get a lot of calls on that. And I used to have a spot in an antique mall. I used to have a booth. I did that for 12 years. And it eventually got to be, I wasn't making enough money to make it worth my while. And I was doing estate sales for like 20 years. I was conducting them. And, but that got to be, for me, too much work for the amount of money I was making. So, but all those things add up to a learning experience. I mean, I learned a lot. And now I just want to focus on eBay. That's pretty much my main focus. It's easy.
Yeah, all of that antique booth and estate sale, you've got a lot of information that, you know, I'm guessing you're a baby boomer.
I am. I'm 66.
That's like who I'm trying to help educate on this, because the baby boomers have all the stuff.
Right.
They have all these years of experience and they don't realize what they have that's worth anything. And so they get on eBay and they feel like, oh, this is a young person's thing, and I don't know if I'm going to do it right. And learning the eBay part is the easy part. It's those years of experience.
Right.
A young person, you can't buy that anywhere. It's all in your head, and you just know it.
Well, if I was starting out, I would use my phone. I would look everything up. If I can't look it up on my phone and see it on eBay selling, you know, I'd be very hesitant to buy it. You know, I still look up stuff every day, so
Oh yeah, yeah. But like you said, cigarette lighters and knives and like some of that stuff you have behind you, ashtrays and just all the stuff people don't realize. You know, it has some old gas station logo on it. Well, guess what? That gas station doesn't exist anymore. It's collectible, and people just
Exactly.
don't
People want
realize.
to buy it. People want to buy it.
Yeah, they do.
What I do all day long. I do it every day, and I don't do eBay as much as I should. I mean, if I wanted to turn it into a full-time job, I could make a lot more money. But I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for just a steady part-time income. That's what I'm looking for.
Right. And after 14 years, I mean, it's predictable.
Right.
To a point, obviously, predictable, but you know, as long as you just keep doing it, the
As long
money.
as I keep listing, it's so easy to find stuff at ground. I mean, I could load up my car every day. I pass up so much stuff that I don't want to deal with. But
Right.
if I wanted to, I could find enough in one day to keep me busy for a month on eBay.
You seem to focus on things that are easy to ship too.
Right, I do. Although I ship bigger things, and I've got the shipping pretty well down to a science. But I'd rather buy little stuff and flip it and make it like, you know, a piece of jewelry is so easy to ship.
Right. So you don't do like depression glass punch bowls and sets of dishes and things like that are just a shipping nightmare.
I do. I really don't want to, but I can't help myself.
It's worth enough.
I have about 5 sets of dishes that I'm working on now, so it's a pain in the neck. But I split them up. I don't try to sell the whole thing at once. I piece them out.
Right.
Usually on dishes, the only things that sell are the plates and the cups. Usually the side, you know, people have a set, they break a plate, they need another one, or they break but usually like the gravy bowl, they don't want it, they already got that, so they end up dumping all of that stuff and just selling the plates like 4 at a time.
Okay.
Only certain patterns sold, so you have to know which ones are the good ones.
What's the most expensive thing, the highest price you've gotten for anything in your whole eBay career?
Well, the most I got for anything was, I didn't sell it on eBay, I sold it at an auction house. It was $5,000. It was it's called a claret jug, which is claret's a wine. So it's like a wine bottle. It was from the 1800s. I bought it at a garage sale for $40.
40?
40.
And you sold it for 5,000.
Well, I consigned it to an auction house, and they took like $1,000, so I got $4,000 out of it. But on eBay, I sold a dresser for $1,900 one time. I think that was probably my highest that I ever sold on there. And a guy from Rhode Island bought it, and he had a truck come and pick it up. So, and I paid $200 for the whole bedroom set. He just wanted the dresser.
So the furniture, do you still put that on eBay, or you just do local on that now?
Well, I do pickup only, and people come from all over. People come from, there's services that will come, a shipping service that will come and pick it up and take it to them. And that's up to them. They set that up, and I've had a number of times people from New York, people from California have sent a truck over to pick up something. And I had people drive. I had, a few weeks ago, I had a guy from Indiana come and get a fan that he bought for me. And I've had people come from Minnesota, Wisconsin, all over the Midwest. They drive to my house. And I sold a fishing motor to a guy in Minnesota, and he came and picked it up. So it's amazing.
You just have such a great confidence about you of like, you know, yep, somebody's going to buy this. They'll drive to get it. I know what I have.
And I sell things on Facebook too. I put them on Facebook, you know, the garage sale groups around here, buy sell groups. And I use OfferUp now and then. Not a lot, but bigger stuff that, you know, it's local. It's one other option for me.
Yeah, you're using all of the different platforms. That's fantastic.
I try to.
Do you ever feel bad, like, okay, you bought something for $5 and you sell it for $400? You ever feel bad about that?
No, I don't, because the seller sets the price. Now, if I go to, somebody calls me to their house and, you know, they call me on my card or my old ad, and then you know, they don't know what it's worth. Now I'm on the spot, so I have to offer them a fair price. But if they're having a garage sale and they want $5 for that gold chain, you know, they set the price. I mean, it's not like I, you know, tricked them into it or anything. So I have no problem at all. And I do it like every week. So.
Well, and what I find is so many people, they just don't want to learn how to sell. It's too complicated. Right. They don't have time. It's, you know, and it's like, you know, anybody can learn to do this. It's your fault if you don't.
Right. Exactly. Well, it's work. It's work involved. And it's, you know, there's a learning process, but there's a lot of money to be made. I just can't help but make money. It's just, I can't go out without making money. You make your money when you buy the thing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I like going to like estate sales run by the family where they're in a panic because somebody died and the house sold and they got to get rid of the stuff and they don't care. They don't care what they, you know, they just want to dump it.
Yeah, that's where you get the deals, the family run ones, because there's no, you don't have that company in there trying to set the prices and trying to, you know, get money out of you. And it's just, they
don't have someone like me pricing the stuff, you know, because I would have priced it, you know, 10 times higher or 100 times higher. So if you know what you're looking at, you could really make some good money there.
Yeah, that's when you get in the estate, the family, it's like there's that whole emotional part of it, and they don't care. They just need to get rid of the stuff and get the house sold and get back to their lives, because dealing with an estate is so emotional and time consuming.
Right. And they think it's all junk. They don't see the value. They don't know the value. They couldn't care less. They just want it out of there. I went to a sale a couple weeks ago. It was a garage sale, and the guy was throwing everything in the garbage. And, you know, I pull up and it's all piled on the curb. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm just sick of this garage sale. I don't want nothing to do with this stuff. It's all going to the garbage." So I loaded up my van and I took it out to the flea market. So it's just, you know, they just hate it. They don't want to do it. I had one guy, he had a garage sale, and I said, "How was it yesterday?" And he goes, "Well," he said, "I took a day off work. I sat around here the whole day and I made $22. So he said, "I would have just been better off giving it away," which a lot of people think that, you know, so hopefully they give it to me. Or they
Hey, that's the way. You're the modern day Sanford and Son, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I try not to buy too much junk, but you know, I can't help myself sometimes.
Yeah, when it's there.
Like I say, the flea market, they buy just junk, and it's just amazing, you know, that I could make $500 out of a car full of junk. It's amazing.
Well, what a way to be retired, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I like, because I could set my own hours, do what I want to do. And I just love going to garage sales. It's something I just enjoy. My wife goes with me. We make a day of it. We stop for lunch, and I make money. You know, what's wrong with that? That's a beautiful lifestyle.
Well, I mean, you really are the perfect example for a retired person who can make this work.
Definitely, yeah.
They're just, I talk to people every day that are about to retire, you know, they got 2 years or whatever, and they're hanging in there for their pension or, you know, whatever it is. And they want to do this. This is exactly what they want to do. And that's why I wanted to have you on, to show people you can absolutely do this. And like you said, you could make a lot more money. You just choose not to, because you want that balance of not having to be glued to your work all the time.
I mean, if I spent 8 hours a day listing things, I'd probably be making well over $100,000 a year on this. But I don't want to spend that time. I don't want to work that hard.
Do your earnings interfere with Social Security or anything like that?
Well, I worked for the public schools for 30 years, and I didn't pay into Social Security. We didn't pay into it. So I didn't qualify for Social Security. So when I retired, I started paying the taxes. I started making more where I started. I didn't really have a choice. But it paid for my Social Security. So now I get Social Security because I used my eBay money to pay into it for long enough where I'm qualified now. But I don't hardly make anything, but it pays for my Medicare now. So, you know, it worked out perfectly. So it doesn't matter. I don't get Social Security really. I make $200 a month or something like that on it. So.
But you get all the home office deductions because you have a home business.
Right. I do. Right.
That's the best thing. Great. Yeah.
But I don't really, you know, it's something I have to do. So I just have to do it. So I don't worry too much about it. I just do it because number one, I like doing it. It's fun. And I make money.
Well, you have to love it. I mean, people who want to get into this because they hear they can make money, that doesn't work. You have to love the whole process of finding something, taking it home, cleaning it up, doing whatever, taking the pictures, putting it on eBay. That person buys it, you ship it to them, and they're so excited to have it. And they don't even care that they paid $400 for it. They don't care that you got it for $5.
Oh,
and then you just do that over and over again. And that's why I'm in it, is just, it's that whole process. You have to love it.
I'm the same way. Yeah, right. And a lot of my friends, they specialize in certain things. Some people just buy jewelry and nothing else. Some people buy gold. I see the gold guys at the garage sales. They come in, you know, they got their card, I'm buying gold, and they have a scale, they have a test kit there. And people go in the house and bring gold out for them. And I knew one guy who would make $3,000 to $4,000 a weekend buying gold. You know, it's like, because he specializes in that. Mm-hmm. You know, other people specialize in military collectibles. You know, they become experts at them. You know, but I'm just a generalist. I just buy. And I buy for other people too. For instance, I have a bike guy that I buy bikes for. He tells me, he schooled me on exactly what bike did he want, what type of bike he wants, you know, all the different components that he wants and the setup. And I go and find them for him. And I bought one a couple weeks ago for $10, and he came over to the house and picked it up and gave me $70 for it. So, you know.
That's like that commercial for the spray paint. Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's Krylon. The guy goes to a garage sale and he gets this bike and he spray paints it and makes it look really nice. And then I think he sells it back to the same guy he bought it from for like $100. So that's a real thing.
I also have friends that own a shop, so I look for stuff for their shop and you know, just flip it over to them. And you know, it's quick, easy money. I don't make a lot of money on it, but it's something else to look for. If I see it, why not buy it, right? Do
you do any consignment?
No, I don't know. I've not had any luck with consignments. I have done them, and I always seem to have problems with them for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's tricky. People think their stuff is worth more than it is, and then they get into.
Well, I've had the problem is the package gets lost, or the thing gets broken on the way. Very seldom I ever have anything broken, but it's always a consignment that gets broken. I got ripped off one time when I was still accepting checks. I got a bounce check, and you know, it didn't come back for like a month and a half. And I already shipped the thing and paid the guy to, you know, my consignor. And now all of a sudden, you know, I'm left holding the bag. And so I try to stay away from that. I don't need to I got so much stuff. I don't need to take consignments.
Do people come to you and they know you sell on eBay and like, hey, can you sell this for me?
Yeah, they do. And I tell them I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
You say, I'm 66 years old and I don't want to do that.
Well, I have too much stuff now to, you know, I can't get it all on there now, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a common problem when people find out you sell and that's your business. It's like, oh, they always come up with, oh, I've got this fill in the blank item. Can you sell that for me? And it took me a long time to be able to say, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, I just say, no, it's just too hard and too much trouble. They can put it on, now Facebook is so easy to put stuff on there.
Right.
Offer up, you know, they have a lot of other options, and it's, you know, the whole idea, you know, I have my reputation on eBay at stake. And I sold one thing for a guy, and it was an old toy that he found, and he paid like $2 for it. So he says, here, sell it to me. And I figured, you know, I'm going to make some money. So some guy in Sweden bought it, and it was $150, so I shipped it over there. And then my friend wanted the money immediately because he was watching the auction. And, you know, he's bugging me. I said, well, wait till the guy gets it, make sure he's happy. Well, the guy gets the thing, And he said that it was a brand new, the toilet had never been opened. Well, he had opened it, and he said that there was rust on some of the metal or something. And he wanted his money back. And then my friend's like, well, it's too late. He bought it. He's stuck with it. And I go, well, I just can't do that. And I can't just stiff the guy. He's going to give me a negative feedback. So this guy was going crazy. And I finally made a deal with the guy to give him like $30 back. But it came out of my commission, you know, so. You know, and it's just, that's the kind of thing that I don't want to deal with, you know.
Yeah, it can be a hassle.
Somebody stiffs me, well, I deal with it, you know. And, you know, it's not too often that I lose, you know, have any problems with anybody, because I think the collectibles market, people are more reasonable, you know. They're more, you know, like you say, they want this thing, they're dying to get it, and I get it to them in good condition, and they're happy, so. And I get a lot of feedback, so.
Yeah, I think in my experience, it's the expensive items, there's no problems. It's the $10 items where people file a not as described, or they want to return it, and it's like, really $10 item, but you sell somebody a music box for $100 and they're just thrilled to have it because they're looking for that, and you know, you just don't have as many problems with the higher dollar items. Now,
if it's a cheap item, I'll just refund their money and give them the money back. Just go on my way, and I just don't bother them.
Now, you probably ship international direct, not with the global shipping.
I do both. It depends what it is. If it's something real heavy, I'd rather do the global shipping, because it's just easier for me. If it's first class, I'll do the direct shipping.
Okay.
I've shipped a lot of things everywhere, so really international is no big deal, really. But a lot of times on heavy things, it's so expensive, and you know, then they get it, and they have to pay an import fee, and then they're complaining. I'd rather let them, if they want to deal with that, let them go through the global. And a lot of them do. You know, I sell them a lot of things to the global shipping.
Yeah, I figured 20-year veteran, you're shipping international. Everybody in the world's got money.
They do. It's amazing. Like you say, if they want it, they're going to pay for it. Right. I sold something recently to someone in Australia, and they paid double for shipping than they paid for the item. So,
yeah, I just sold a bottle of shampoo yesterday for $20-something, and the shipping was $27, and it's going to Chile or Brazil or somewhere like that.
That's amazing.
It's a hard to find item, and they paid more for the shipping than for the item.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, we can kind of get into the end here. Is there any wise words of wisdom you would have for people in your age group getting into this?
I don't see any reason not to do it. If, you know, as long as you have, like I say, I'm in Chicago, there's a lot of garage sales, and I don't know if somebody out in the country, they might not have, but I would consider putting up ads. You could put ads on Craigslist. I buy this, I buy that, I'm looking for this, and people will call you, and you know, get into people's houses and buy stuff, and you gotta learn what's good stuff and what's bad stuff. That's half the battle right there.
Would you be willing to share a copy of your business card that you give out?
Yeah, sure.
You can just send me a picture of that. I'll put it at the end of the video.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would help a lot of people kind of think about what to ask for or what to look for when they don't know. Right.
And it's, like I say, it's a memory jogger for people that you're at a sale, and here's my card. I had a lady that I gave her the card, and she said, oh, you buy cameras? Her husband had just passed away, and he was a photographer back in the 60s. And she says, I have some cameras. So I ended up spending $650 on this whole collection of cameras and lenses. And I ended up on eBay, they sold for over $10,000.
Oh.
I got $1,250 for one of the cameras. They were all Leica cameras and Leica lenses, and it was just unbelievable. You know?
Did you know anything about photography equipment, or did you learn it as you were selling it?
I learned that day. I learned a lot. I wasn't familiar with Leica, but I knew they were a good camera. But I got, just for one lens, I got $950, and it was, you know, one of those things where I gave her my card. You know? And then she liked me, so then she was cleaning out the house. So like every month she would call me on the phone, and she'd say, hey, come on, George, come on over. I want you to buy more stuff. So then her dining room table we covered with, you know, whatever she dragged out of the basement. And I would buy everything, and like I pay her like $200, $300, because I didn't want to take half of it and then she calls somebody else. I don't want anybody else getting in there. And then every month for like 2 years, she called me and I would buy. And she just had fantastic stuff. And it was just, I mean, it all came from handing her that little card, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's unreasonable to think that, you know, after a death or somebody's downsizing a house that they've been in for 40 years, they're not going to have everything out at a garage sale.
Oh.
You know, they're just going to take some stuff out there and hope for the best.
Right.
And, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly. So, we ask at every sale, I ask about something, you know. And lately, my daughter just bought a house, so they're looking for a dining room set. So I asked for, got a dining room set? And they go, yeah, come on in. So then we go in the house, you know, and we look at the dining room set. No, I don't know about that. But even what about that painting over there? What about that statue? What about, you know, so I start, and people go, yeah, I guess so. You know, they sell stuff. So.
Well, if they've got a buyer right there, they're going to give the price. Yeah, I mean, that may never happen again.
I'm not afraid to make a good offer if it's something nice, you know. I'll pay whatever, you know.
Well, you have really done well with this, and like I said, just
like I say, I enjoy it. It's fun.
An example for people wanting to get into this, because I don't think people know how fun it can really be. Once you get over the learning how to do the eBay landscape and ship things, those are the two biggest struggles.
Well, once you buy something for $5 and sell it for $500, now you're hooked, because it's, you know,
oh yeah,
I'll do that all day long.
And you do.
I do. It's amazing. That just amazes me. Yeah.
Well, it's been great to meet you after all these years of seeing you on Facebook.
And I really enjoy your group. That's my #1 group that I hang out at. So I read them every day. So.
Well, I really appreciate you posting your sales, and I learned so much from you. It's like, what is that thing? And it was, you know, that's a humidor. And I'm like, oh, what does that mean? And
yeah,
so Google it and figure out what it is. And
right.
Okay, that's another thing I can look for. So,
right. Something stuck on the back of your head, you know.
So everybody watching, go check out George's store. The link's below, and, you know, come on Facebook and watch what he posts, because you can really learn a lot. He's got 20 years on eBay, estate sale management, antique booth experience, and that's how you're going to make your money. The more you know.
Exactly. Well, thanks for having me, Suzanne.
Well, thank you. And are you going shopping today?
Yeah, I am. There's a couple sales by me on a Wednesday. It's amazing.
All right. Well, happy shopping.
Okay, see you on Facebook.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and I want to make sure you know about my premium content video library. So, what do you get? 12 videos a month, access to a huge library that's going to continually grow over time, mini courses, materials and printables, and things to help you with your business. Videos made on request, unlimited email support, and no ads. So you can watch, learn, and grow. You also get the 24-hour help desk service. The cost is only $20 a month. I encourage you to give it a try, see what's in there, send in some requests, see if I can help you with your business. And I will see you in the premium library. Bye.